This is a Lockpicker 1969, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to this next episode of Interview with a Lockpicker. Today's guest for part 2 is Lady Locks. Say hi.
Hi.
So, before we dive into the interview, I had something I wanted to say.
Okay.
You were the interview that got this series going. You're interview number 1. And I wanted to say my thanks to you for not only being supportive at the very beginning to help me get this series going, but to be the very first interview, which really kind of launched things. So I wanted to say thanks for that.
Well, I will thank you for your kind words, and you're very welcome. I was
Okay.
more than happy to do it.
So,
I knew you had a good thing going, so I wanted to see it take off.
okay, good. And it's been quite a journey so far.
I
So,
know.
I was hoping what you could do first is talk a bit about where you were at in lockpicking when we first interviewed or did your first interview.
All right. Well, I was a bumbling moron. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I was. I still am. I think we all are in log picking a little bit. I was just basically. I think I was a green belt when we interviewed, or I think I was, wasn't I? I
Yeah,
can't
I
even
think so.
remember.
I think so.
Yeah, I think I was. And just basically doing the same kind of things, just picking and you know, uh, being a part of the community, chatting. I know I got a lot of help from a lot of people. Trying to just pick what I could pick, and I really just was having fun with picking. Basically, I don't know. I was kind of pursuing the belts only because I think you got me into pursuing the belts back when I first even got my belt. I think it was you that had encouraged me to go for it actually. So,
Way
yeah.
back when.
Way back when.
So,
Feels like forever and
yeah.
not so long ago at
So,
the same time.
what would you say has happened in your journey since that first interview?
Um, I've gotten a couple higher belt rankings, and I started picking time. Basically, that's it though. But I'm still a bumbling idiot with picking, and still on my journey.
Well, I want to come back to picking time in a moment, but how do you see yourself in the community? Because as far as a lot of people are concerned, you try to help out other pickers.
Well, I do, but I don't see that as being anything different as anybody else really does.
True. Yep.
I got a lot of help from a lot of people. I still do. I'm constantly bugging everybody for questions and, help. And can you find a lock? Do you have a lock I can borrow? I mean, I basically the same kind of things. That was done for me is what I think I do for others that I hope I can. I hope I do for others.
Okay,
But I just see myself just like,
and
just a member of the community, like,
yeah, you're being
everyone
very
else is.
you're being very modest too. By the way, I've had a lot of different people tell me how much help they've gotten from you. So, just want to relay
Well, I
that.
appreciate that. I
Yep.
appreciate that a lot, but I honestly, I think it's just like I said, maybe I've just found the few people that can, um, that are more than helpful because I just feel like I'm only doing what they would do. You know what I mean? That they've done for me, kind of paying it
You're paying
forward,
a
if
Yep.
you
I
will.
was
I
just
think
gonna
we
say
all
that.
do that,
Yep.
you know. So I kind of, if I'm doing more than the normal, I don't notice it because that's what people have done for me,
Hmm.
personally. So I kind of just, you know.
Okay, so what inspired picking time?
Oh, geez. Well, what inspired Picking Time was actually Lockheed, who had won I think it was my 100 or 200, maybe 200 subscriber giveaway. Um, we kept emailing back or texting on Discord back and forth because we couldn't track the package that I sent him with like a whole bunch of locks in it, and it costed a whole bunch of money to send it to him, and
Oh
we were
no.
not finding it anywhere, and I was getting nervous that he wasn't going to get it. So I kept back and forth talking to him like, "Hey, did you get it? Hey, no, I didn't." "Oh, no worries, it'll get here." And I'm like, "Oh, well, it might not." But in those texts, I mean, he did finally get his package, thank goodness. Um, but in those texts, we were just chatting about lock picking and everything like that. And um, I was wondering, if I thought, well, this is real. We were talking about it would be really cool if we could pick together. I thought I really want to pick with somebody else, like online. Or maybe we could do a live because he was talking. He knows more of the technical things with computers and things like that. And I said it would really be cool to do a live. He had just done his live. I wanted to do a live. And he said, well, there are streaming services that you could pick on live with. You don't have to do just YouTube. And you can have a live with other people because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have a live with somebody else and pick with them. And I ultimately wanted to pick with Lockheed. I thought it would be fun. I thought,
Yeah.
if we could both just pick together and chit chat, I thought it would be cool and to do a live with that and, have people like join and talk to us and whatever. And he said, well, there is a way to do that. There's the StreamYard. So he actually found the best streaming service and he said, well, they do more than one person. We could have more than one person picking. And I was like, well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. So we decided we were going to start doing that. And so we had, there was Picking Time was born. Just out of, me wanting to pick with somebody else because it was kind of lonely picking by myself.
Did you expect it to get as popular as it has gotten?
No, I really didn't. I figured some people would like to pick with us or, come on and pick because it is. I figured if I'm kind of lonely picking by myself, because not a lot of people can get to the tool meetups and the
Yeah.
different locksport meetups that are happening. And I thought, if I'm feeling that way, there's got to be other people that feel that way. So I thought maybe a lot of, some people would like it, but I didn't think it would be a lot of people that liked it. And I'm actually surprised that we have as many people as we have that come on and, pick with us.
Oh,
So it was kind of shocking when it kept continuing and getting bigger and bigger as far as like the guests that actually come on the live and the people in the chats too.
oh, and there's some real characters that show up too.
Yes, we have some characters. Hey, I just let everybody be, let's all just be ourselves and hang out. That's how I want it to feel. Like we're just hanging out and picking, and laid back and, we have
Hey,
our characters though.
always happy when Lee the V joins the stream, and always
Speaking of
happy.
characters,
Yep, always
he's one of
happy.
my favorites.
I'm always happy to toss back a shot or two with him when he goes to get his drink, which inevitably happens during every show he participates in. So I look forward to it. So,
We'll
but
have to have a drinking time. I think one of them guys actually did have a drinking time. If they did a live and they were drinking and picking.
so what a lot of people don't know is I keep some stuff right at the production table. I don't drink anything while I'm producing, of course, but I'm ready for any occasion.
And
So
sometimes after you're picking a hard lock, come on, let's
yeah,
face it, you need a drink.
yeah. Well, sometimes my wife brings me one when she knows I've been working a lot, and I come back upstairs frustrated. But so you have a Discord server. Did that come after Picking Time became a thing, or
It did. I actually have one under Lady Locks, which was kind of an
yeah,
accidental Discord server. That one, I think it was Kraken that I was texting with or talking to, and I just didn't know what the heck I was doing, and so that I just made a server so that I could talk, and I just didn't need to do that. I had to just find him on messaging or something like this. I don't know, but
gotcha.
I can't even remember how it came, but it was just an accident. But since then, I have some characters on there that I just let them have their fun on my
Yeah,
Discord server. But
yeah.
we have a picking time Discord
Yep.
server as well.
Yep.
That was actually started because I figured, these people are familiar with each other. Every Sunday they come back. They, if they're looking for help or whatever, some people are shy and they don't really know how to interact on the LPU server with all those people and,
Yeah.
don't
It gives
kind of just don't know the people that are on there. So they, maybe don't reach out, so I
it
thought,
it gives them an alternative.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I just thought, well, plus the people that are on picking time all the time know each other and know what is going on with each other, what locks they're picking, what help they kind of need, what level they're at.
Hmm.
So it's not like a big having to introduce yourself to people you don't know and asking for help. I thought, well, if they know these people and they feel comfortable, and maybe somebody needs help on a Tuesday and they don't want to wait till Sunday's picking time to say, hey, so and so, I saw you were picking this, can you help me? So I thought it would be great just to have that, and also just to have like announcements for picking time and things
Yeah.
that we're doing with picking time that everybody that's a member or a patron or whatever can check out, and just different
It's
um
it's a good
you know
place to communicate between episodes.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
exactly, it
Yep.
is, because I just feel like that's a big deal. If somebody needs help, they should be able to get it right away, and you know we're
Okay.
always watching it, so if somebody needs something.
Okay. So when we did your first interview and you were green, you made one heck of a jump all the way to brown. Can you
I
talk
did.
about that a little bit?
Well, I did, but it wasn't. I mean, I had been picking the locks, and unbeknownst to me, the one, the one lock that I picked, uh, I had picked a while back, and it was a brown belt lock. And I picked it like 3 months into picking, but I didn't know. I didn't even know what lock it was because I was so new. I didn't know. Somebody sent it to me, and I picked it, and I didn't realize that it was a brown belt lock. But after I'd picked my red belt lock, and I realized that, oh, I have a red belt and a brown belt lock, I could apply for my brown belt. So I did.
Hmm.
And that was it. But I had been picking those level locks to get to that level. So it wasn't really, it might have been a jump, but it wasn't like it was you know, a, I randomly was picking hard. Like, I don't know. It wasn't really that big of a jump. To me, it wasn't, because I had been picking locks to lead up to that,
Yeah, sure.
and I recently got my red belt actually.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at now. But what did I pick for my red belt? Oh, I don't even know what I picked for my red belt now that I'm thinking about it. Hmm.
So, what are your plans going forward to get your black belt at some point?
My black belt. I'm actually just enjoying being red belt. I am working on picking my black belt locks, but they are terribly hard. They're
Yeah.
not to be, they're not anything you could just pick real quick and get your belt. This is like, and I also think I'm gonna pick a few black belt locks, before I actually apply for my black belt. And I want to do some impressioning, which is also, um, part of one of the, I guess, epic quests for black belt. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. But I'm just kind of laying back and enjoying just picking in general. I have so many locks that aren't really any. Well, they will be soon because they're putting locks up on the new LPU
Yeah.
belt thing
Yep.
they're doing. So the other locks will be up there. But I have locks that aren't on any list, and that I still haven't picked, and I just kind of want to pick them. And I find, from picking these really tough locks, even though they don't open, I'm still getting better at picking, because I can pick a lot of locks that I couldn't pick before.
Hmm.
And not that I had practiced them, but I just picked them up kind of out of a naughty bucket. But I don't have a naughty bucket. It was like my drawer of locks that I haven't picked yet. So
Okay.
I would grab them and be like, "Oh, I didn't even practice this one. I can pick it." But it's just because I had been picking, I'm aiming for these harder locks, and that's what I'm working on, currently. So,
Now, wanted to make a quick note about the LPU Belt Explorer. As a tool, being able to look at the actual lock, see the pictures. I've supplied a bunch of pictures that I took for that to help out, but they actually talk about the mechanisms. Sometimes there's pictures of what the pins look like and the key and so forth. I think tools wise, the community has a lot more to go with now than they ever had before, and that whole effort is phenomenal in my opinion.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be amazing. I think that is so awesome what they're doing.
Yep.
And I think it's much needed because there's a lot, when I was looking at the locks on the belt list, I felt I would search and search because I didn't know where to find
Yeah.
the locks,
Yep.
and
Or what
so I
they
kind
look
of was
like.
like, yeah, and I was just lost because I would look, okay, here's 3 locks I could try. And I would literally go from that to the internet, type it in, see if I could find one to buy, couldn't find it. Then I go back, and look for another one. And it was just, hard to find locks to use for your belt, especially when you get up into the higher belts that have crazy lock names or things that you've never heard of. You don't know where to find them, so having more on a list is going to be amazing. And also, when you pick up a lock that you see that you might want to buy, maybe it'll be on there and you could say, oh, you know what, that one might be too tough, or that one might be too easy, or.
Yeah. Okay, so wanted to turn to challenge locks for a moment. You've had a lot of them come through you from what I've seen anyway. Um,
Yes.
can you talk about your experiences with challenge locks and your thoughts on them?
I really love challenge locks. I think it is just a really, really great way to, if you're a challenge lock maker, I think it's a really great way to increase just your skills and actually learning what's in a lock or what it does. I mean, Lynn Spike, he's doing that series about making challenge locks, and he breaks it down so just eloquently about how you have to figure everything out, in order to make a lock. It's not easy if you want to do it really, really well. And some of these people that make them are just, I mean, just phenomenal. The pins are just beautiful. I mean, I have the utmost respect for that. And as a challenge lock picker, um, it just, gosh, it helps with your skills so much. And I think when I first, Bobby Key sent me my first challenge lock, and I was like, man, it's a challenge lock. This is going to be so hard. I don't know and I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of intimidated by that, thinking that it was something maybe I wasn't ready to do. Um, but they come at all different levels. I don't think they're intimidating at all anymore. They're fun, and I think if
Mm-hmm.
you can't pick it, it's a testament to the person that made the lock that they made a challenging lock. And I think a lot more people should put their fails up on YouTube as well, just to kind of give a hats off to the makers, because they work so hard at making them
Yeah.
challenging. And I think if you're a picker and you haven't tried a challenge lock, you should, and not be intimidated by it at all, because it's just more fun to be had. If you look at Sadistic Picker, he's a really great challenge lock picker. I mean, he loves them. So, all the ones I get, I usually send his way, and he sends me them my way because we both really love to pick them. So,
Yeah. Well, you've got one of my first public free range challenge locks coming your way. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on it and getting feedback. So
yes, I'm very excited to try to pick that one, but I have a feeling it's going to be too tough for me.
we'll see.
But
I
we'll see.
I still I'm still interested in the feedback one way or the other. So
Right, right.
so you have your channel and it has grown in leaps and bounds. Can you talk about your channel a little bit and maybe about where you're planning on taking it from here, or
Um, hmm.
if you have
I,
specific plans at all?
I really don't. I just kind of made it again. As one of my mentors, you suggested to make a channel, to just put it out there. Maybe something that I was doing would help somebody, and I kind of didn't want to at first, and then after talking with you, I thought, you know what, I think maybe I will. So I made my channel, but basically I just put up the locks that I'm picking and then try to just make it funny and just something fun to watch. And I've been kind of leaning towards putting up some newer like locks for newer pickers, just because some of them locks that I see that I'm picking, that not a lot of people picked them and want to even see that.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to put that on my channel because it's something that I'm picking, and it's kind of like the documentation of my journey, and it's
Yeah.
kind of
Yep.
amazing to have. It's something really cool to have that also. But I do want to do it to help other people too. So I want to try to put other locks that, more people would be picking on there. So I kind of want to venture into doing that a little bit more alongside what I'm already doing. But
Okay.
and obviously picking times on there as well. So,
Sure.
um, but that's just basically what I want to continue to do with it
Okay.
as well.
All right. So, last question before we wrap up. What are some of your favorite locks and kinds of locks and why?
Um, Boy, I'll tell you, my favorite are the pin tumbler locks, I'd have to say. And I've been really digging the Abus Euro cylinders. They're very fun. The Abus C83's become one of my little favorites, and I've been hunting them down here and there because every single one of them is just different and fun and a little bit challenging, but not hard, but fun to pick. I like any type of lock that gives a lot of that back and forth, you know, feedback kind of thing. And I think a lot of pickers do enjoy that too.
Yep.
But those are my favorites, I'd say.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to say to our audience before we wrap up?
Um, to the audience, I guess just I want to thank everybody that actually watches my YouTube channel and everybody that helps me all the time because I'm a person that constantly needs help.
Okay.
So basically that's about it.
All right. Okay. This has been great. I really enjoyed getting to have this catch up part two interview because I really think it was overdue.
Oh,
And
thank you.
my ability to say thank you as well. So with that, I'm gonna wrap it up. If you are currently a subscriber, thank you. If you are not yet a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications and all, and hit like on the video. That seriously helps us YouTubers out with the wonderful YouTube algorithm. And thank you for listening.